What advice would you give to future early stage founders with a product background or a technological background who might be listening to this podcast?
I think one is like know what you're good at and what you're not great at, right? And then hire to fill those gaps around you. So for me, it's always been like, sort of a lot of introspection of where do I need other leadership to help us go faster as a company and whatnot. The other thing that's I think really tough as a startup founder, tend to be like really type A, go getter, let's do it ourselves, is like you can't do everything yourself. And actually, if you try to do everything yourself, you're probably building an organization that's not going to scale past a certain point. I think it's why like a lot of companies can get to the 20, 25 person stage. And at that point, it becomes really, really hard to scale because probably the founder has been doing everything. And then sort of giving those jobs to other people becomes tough because like all the knowledge around how to do these things has stayed
all tribal knowledge.
It's all tribal, right? But I think it's like specifically a problem for founder-led companies, especially, if you're bootstrapping or something like that. The other thing like I think is important is to understand how prospective investors and prospective employees like see the opportunity to be really, really honest with yourself. Just like there's like different phases of a person's career, there's like different phases of like how backable you are as a founder, right? If you've only worked for big companies all your life and you're coming out and you're doing your first startup, there's certain VCs that will just say like, hey, it's tough for me to back you. Like, show me that you can do it, right? Before I write a check. If you're coming out of like a startup or you've worked in that environment before, you've built those relationships or, it's your second company, people look at you a lot differently. Sort of having that honesty with yourself, I think is super important. And then finally, don't be afraid to get out there. Pretty much everybody that has been through it wants to help people that are going through it. And so don't be afraid to ask for help, to ask for mentorship and guidance and advice. People want to make connections and want to grow the next crop of great companies and founders and help them grow. I think that's one of the most exciting things about being a part of sort of the entrepreneurial community is that I think by and large, people just applaud all the success that everybody has. There's not a lot of bad blood out there.